Hey everybody, this is Rodney, the Georgia Web Warrior, and I'm here today with Park from Demand Local, and we're going to talk to you about some different ways that you can use geofencing and some other techniques that we've kind of got up our sleeve uh, in order to get you some new clients. Client acquisition is the name of the game. We all know that you're going to lose a certain number of clients every month, every year, and I bet you know those numbers backwards and forwards if you're watching this. So what we want to do is we want to supplement what you've lost, but we also want to get you some new clients because you can't grow without new clients, right, Park?
Right.
So, Park, could you tell us a little bit about the company that you're with and how long you guys been working with internet marketing and things like that?
Sure. Work for Demand Local. We're a full service ad tech digital marketing company. We've been around for 13 years, going on our 13th. And we started off the first 8 really in automotive. The founders came from the automotive industry. And over the last 5 years now, we've heavily diversified into really all other different types of industries, from service to finance to CBD cannabis, restaurants. And so what we've been able to do is take a lot of the lessons that we've learned from the automotive industry and apply them across a handful of other industries to develop successful digital marketing campaigns. And we're
Right.
full service ad tech. So that means everything from search, social, audio, video, LinkedIn. I mean, any digital ecosystem we've got access to and participate and run campaigns in.
Well, that's great because there's a lot I hear so many times in the field from people, they say, I really don't understand this. I don't have time to learn it all. And I've got a choice here. I can either learn how to do your job or I can go out and do mine if you can get me people to go do it for. And that's kind of really what we're here to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we can help get you some extra customers, that's our mission's done. We want to help you. That's why we're here. Now, we talked and mentioned, I know, for about customer acquisition using geofencing, and there's some other techniques in there that Park can tell you about as well. But many people aren't familiar with the word geofencing, Park. What can you tell us about just what is geofencing? How does it work? And how would it works for the service industry? People that go out and do marble countertops, people that do ceramic tiles, some fairly high-end jobs. So we're not looking, at grandma giving $20 to the kid for fixing a busted pipe or something. Plumbers need to get people, and they generally, I know, use search and maps a lot for that.
Mm-hmm.
But tell us more about geofencing. That's the word for today.
Yeah, so geofencing is basically putting an electronic fence around a geographic location, and
Does that hurt?
um, no, it does not hurt. You can walk right through it.
Okay, so it's a
Uh,
virtual fence.
Virtual fence, and
Okay.
basically what happens is as soon as you walk into that virtual geographic location or the virtual fence, your phone, once you light it up, is going to send a signal to a satellite. And that satellite, because most phones today still have location services on. And so once that satellite signal, comes from the phone and goes up to the satellite, that's a captured device ID. We don't have access to any of the information with regard to personal information, such as phone number, name, but we have the history of that mobile device. So what they've searched, most people still have a lot of those services on. And so basically, the electronic fence, the goal of it is to put it in an area where you've got a called a geographic aligned customer base, and you want to directly market to them. So once we capture the device ID and that device qualifies, we might have some behavioral targeting layered in through third party targeting. And basically, if the phone device hits it, then or makes sense, then that's where we'll serve a banner ad. It shows up within places you typically consume media, from news articles, sports articles, lifestyle, entertainment, all those different types of apps that are out there that people are consuming media on.
And
So that's kind
gaming
of the
too.
essence of it. Yeah. We can do gaming.
Okay. Yeah, I don't imagine many homeowners are out there, playing games all day, but there's probably several people that are. My address to write is not. Don't write me about that, please. But yeah, so there's basically two types of businesses. One is service, and one is a product business. If you're not engaged in your main business is selling products like CBD, you mentioned that earlier, then you're in the service business. I know I am technically doing internet marketing for people, and I'm a service business, and you've worked with people like me.
Hmm.
So I'm coming. We're talking today about service businesses, and this is why we're doing it, so that everybody here, no matter what area they're in, if you're in a cleaning business, you can use some geofencing. Maybe we can geofence some doctor's offices for you if you are looking for some commercial cleaning products, not products, jobs. Sorry. Or if you are looking for to clean office buildings, we can put a geofence around the office building. Same thing if you're looking for manufacturers. Many manufacturers don't have all the buffers and everything necessary to clean their floors, so they rely on cleaning companies to do that. And if we put a geofence, we put a virtual fence all the way around that place, we're going to capture everybody that goes in and out. But you guys have something called dwell time, don't you? Uh, can you tell us a little bit about how dwell time works and how that might be able to help us differentiate the uh, customers that go into the doctor's office for an hour from maybe an office manager that's there all day?
Sure. I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head right there. For the technology, we can see the number of times that it pings over course of hours, minutes, days, and so we generally will use the technology to actually pull out the internal employees so that we can serve the customers, but we can flip it and we can go after the actual employees of that location and serve those devices as well.
So for manufacturing, and I know this for a fact from small businesses. I've had employees and everything, to where the employees get to go home at 5 p.m., but people running the business don't. Everybody, I want my own business. I want my own business. Then they find out how many hours they got. They want to sell or something.
Hmm.
But so the if we want to go a step beyond targeting the employees, we could look at possibly 10 hours or more per day, maybe 2 or 3 days a week, so that we can hit an occasional owner, an owner that comes in occasionally, not every day. But certainly they'd be there for a little bit longer time. What I'm describing is something that would it sounds like that'd be a good idea, right?
Well, whenever we engage with a customer, the first thing that we're going to do is really just understand, what are the avenues that you're currently taking, what's working and what's not. Geofencing could be a great application in that capacity. The one thing we'd have to make sure of is that we've got a large enough sample of target businesses where, basically when we're going and launching a campaign, we're going to the DSP in order to place that campaign. And so when we do that on a geofencing capacity, we're basically working through a CPM or a cost per thousand. And when we have those budgets, we've got to make sure that we've got enough of a population to go and serve that inventory in
Hmm.
order to make it worthwhile for everybody.
But take for example Indianapolis, Indiana. I know that's a pretty
I was
large
born there.
area. Were you?
Mhm.
Oh, good, good. Well, you might have something in common with Kraft, with Cheney. If Cheney's on, there's a shout out from Park about old Indy. I think that's where I went. And I was flying from Charlotte, North Carolina to Las Vegas, and I believe don't they have a pretty big hub there? That's is that Indianapolis?
For
Um,
flights.
yeah, yeah.
I haven't flown into there recently. I mean, I left Indiana when I was 5, so
Oh, okay, okay.
in California now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Cheney says she's here and hi from Indiana.
Oh, great.
Okay. Well, we're glad you're here, Cheney, but just let's go back to my question. If you have a city like Indianapolis, then you probably have more than five country doctors in Indianapolis. And if you go for so going for dwell time, you would need a large enough sample of managers or people that are planning this in order to get the geofencing. Um, but still, Indianapolis is a pretty large city.
Yeah, it is. I mean, basically, sorry to cut you off there. So
No problem.
what we would look at is we would look at, okay, if I'm trying to go and find places to market my cleaning services, if it's a residential cleaning service, then we would go and geofence specific neighborhoods that you might have a couple of customers, or
Hmm.
it's an area that you don't have anything yet. So that's more along the lines of kind of the residential canvassing approach that might complement a traditional mail campaign that you're doing with leaflets or flyers or anything along those lines. We tend to see
Hmm.
success there because now we're hitting them both in the mail and we're hitting them on their device. So the more times you can hit a consumer, the higher percentage that you're going to get some type of conversion. When you're looking at a professional application for service, that's where we just need to make sure if we're going to try to go after the business owners or the facility managers, we want to have a large enough geofence, because when we start to layer in, we can layer in managerial, we can layer in, income levels, we can layer in and basically create that behavioral targeting component or demographic targeting, so that when, let's say, we go just geofence all of Indianapolis, and we say, okay, great, we just want to get business owners, property managers, owners, we can layer
Hmm.
that data in and then start to see the amount of impressions and the pacing that and how
Hmm.
fast that's being consumed. And then that will help us really understand the pacing of that campaign long term. And ultimately, it's going to be a campaign that needs to run for a couple of months because, geofencing is really a result of reach and frequency. And so the reach is going to be Indianapolis. The frequency is going to be the amount of banner ads that we can serve to that person. And catching them in the moment of when they're having that pain point of saying, I need to find a new cleaning service. I need to be compliant with pandemic cleaning services,
Hmm.
depending on where the person might be. And so those are some of the different ways that we would initially look or start to have a conversation around that. Um, so I think that kind of hits the example
Yeah,
you're looking for.
it does. And so, could we add the whole, as if we're doing the whole city of Indiana, but what if there's some outlying areas where maybe I have one or two customers, maybe, but can we layer into that our existing customer list, or create a lookalike audience to add to, if let's say I'm only doing commercial cleaning, okay, because I'm fed up with residential. I don't like people or whatever.
Yep.
But I'm only doing commercial cleaning. So, um, and I've got some outlying areas. We can include all of that and also drop out a lookalike audience from there. Maybe would
Yeah,
that
we can totally
raise
do
the
it. It just comes
numbers?
down. Yeah, I mean, it just
With
comes down to budget.
Okay. And the other thing that if we need to add some more, I think you and I were talking off the air about adding in search.
Yeah. So whenever we work with a service-based customer, to me, when I think about digital marketing, I think about the funnel that each of these businesses are trying to create. And a lot of the service industry, when you talk about plumbers, electricians, roofers, those are going to be service businesses that are needed in a moment of need. And so
Hmm.
traditionally, when somebody's got springs a leak or there's a hailstorm or whatever it is, the first place they're going to go is their friendship network and just say, hey, do you guys have a plumber? Do you have an electrician? Second place they're going to go is local electrician, local plumber on Google. And so that's one where we want to make sure that you've got that effective strategy invested into, because that's just low. I mean, that's as low in the funnel as you can get with
Hmm.
customer awareness and making sure that your search results are going to get as high on the page as possible when somebody types in, Danville, California plumber.
So y'all work with the SEO with getting up the where the company would sit in there so that they would more than likely get called, or you're talking about creating
I mean,
search ads?
yeah, no, so search ads. So we don't do SEO, we only do SEM. But we'll go through and take a look at the website. I mean, ultimately, we can lead somebody to a website all day long, but if somebody gets on there, it's confusing. There's a lot of steps to take. It's not visually appealing. Those are all reasons that people are going to be like, all right, next, and move on.
Right. And if the ad doesn't match, and you mentioned landing pages a minute ago, landing pages, I love them. I have issues with some of the platforms because they try to offer too much, which slows things down. But landing pages can even be created on WordPress. So if you hear landing pages and you've heard the guy that talks faster than I do, and he asks you for $97 a month or whatever, it's not required. It's very helpful for novices, but you can actually do a landing page in WordPress. And one of the things that I personally do is I help people with landing pages. One of the things I always tell them is you've got to take the ad and you've got to match the first thing that they see on that page to your ad, because the old lizard brain thing that Seth Godin talks about all the time, the fight or flight response. If people get scared, they either do two things: they either fight or they run. And with web pages, they only really have one option, and that's they run like hell.
Agreed.
So yeah, so landing pages is something that I personally help with. Also, conversion rate optimization. I think you were talking about that a little bit, and that's something that I can help with as well. I've been studying for about the last year and a half, and I've been working with conversion rate optimization. Been building landing pages a little bit longer than that. So I started about 2 years ago building the landing pages. About a year and a half, I started building, learning conversion rate optimization for about half a year. I was going around feeling my way around, but then I really learned what I was doing and can be an assistance to small and mid-sized companies so that their ads don't create a bounce. Because Park, you're working with an ROI that you have to produce for the ads. And if your ad, let's say it's the best ad ever, and you guys create it and you win Emmys for it, or Addies or whatever for the ads, and it goes to a landing page that scares the customer away, what's that going to do to everybody's ROI?
Yep. And with a lot of the campaigns, I mean, that's when we start to have a conversation with the customer. That's one of the first things we do is, let's go through your website, because to your point, we can have the most effective strategy in the world and drive everybody there. But if people aren't enticed and easily captured, then, it's all for naught.
Yeah. The way I look at it, Park and I can kind of provide a 1-2 punch in that Park comes in with the ad, and Park, you can design ads too, can't you?
We don't do creative in-house. We have a third party that we work with. So we just work through, depending on the banner creatives, the frequency of the change out, if we want to A/B test, everything along those lines. We'll generally offer the first 2 banners for free. That's included within our rate. And then depending on the campaign, then that's where we'll have to talk about, if there's going to be additional fees, just depending on the amount of creative.
Right. Okay. So as I was saying, we can offer a 1-2 punch through your third party. Park can help with the ad itself, and then from there, I can take the ad and I can make it to where the people will recognize the reason that they're there. That ought to be the first thing that they see, is some picture that looks a lot like, if not exactly like, a lot like the ad that they just came in from. That'll let them know they're in the right place. Then from there, we go down and we answer whatever question was asked in the ad, or we direct them through a sales page process to where they are asking you to contact them. So no longer are these people chasing around people, running around putting out flyers. You're not having to do that. We can both help with that. Not the flyer part, but we can replace that. And then basically we can help you get customers. That's what we're here to do. And if you need us, Park, how can they get in touch with us?
You can either respond to Rodney directly, and then he can come to us, or feel free to shoot me an email and just say, "Hey, caught your Facebook Live telecast or whatever these are called," and I'll make sure Rodney's aware. And email address is park@demandlocal, so you can see my name there, followed by @demandlocal.com. And just let us know, that you came from or you saw our information on the Facebook Live event, and we'll kind of circle the wagons and start to have strategy conversations and see if we can come up with a successful campaign strategy.
Okay, that's great. Have you got anything else that you want to tell the? I guess I should give my email address, although it's all over the Georgia Web Warrior Facebook page. It's on my website. I've got two of them. Probably the one that I look at the most is GA, like Georgia, Web, like the internet, Warrior, like an Amazon who fights for you, at gmail.com. That's the easiest one for me to check. Now, I have another one if you want to send it to me, and I will get it, I promise. It's Rodney@thegeorgiawebwarrior.com. That would also be my website, thegeorgiawebwarrior.com. And if you operate a cleaning business, I actually have something there specifically for cleaning businesses and many other business types to show them how to, a little info pack that Park has given me on several different business types. You can look there and you can get more information there. Park, is there anything that you want to tell service businesses in general, or cleaning businesses, or anybody specific you want to pick out, and anything you want to tell us?
No, just more than anything, just really excited for any opportunity to engage with anybody within those industries. We've supported a handful of various service industries when I think about canvassing campaigns that we've run that have been successful. And again, the big piece of that is just creating that multi-channel approach in order to create awareness within the customers to drive conversions. So really excited for any and all opportunities. Thank you in advance for anybody's time. And thank you for your time, Rodney. Appreciate it.
Really appreciate you showing up today, Park. And I appreciate everybody who's seen this on the webinar. Or as Park says, whatever we're going to call this today, because it's actually it's on Facebook, and it's also streaming on YouTube as well. So we hope to see you again. We do these things every once in a while, usually on a Thursday, but we will be happy to talk to any one of you on any day of the week. Just get in touch. And hope to see you soon. Thanks, Park. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Rodney.
Bye-bye.